protests erupted in Ethiopia on 5 August 2016 following calls by opposition groups. Protesters demanded social and political reforms, including an end to human rights abuses. The government responded by restricting access to the internet and attacking and arresting protesters. In the 3 days leading up to the 8th of August, Reuters reported that at least 90 protesters had been shot and killed by Ethiopian security forces, marking the most violent crackdown against protesters in sub-Saharan Africa since at least 75 people were killed during protests in Ethiopia's Oromia region in November and December 2015. Background: Ethiopia has been governed by the Ethiopian People's Revolutionary Democratic Front since they captured the capital and ended the Ethiopian Civil War in 1991. Members of the Tigrayan ethnic group constitute a minority of Ethiopia's population but dominate the senior positions in the country's military and political system, while the majority Amhara and Oromo people are marginalized. The country has been experiencing rapid economic growth since the 2000s and is one of the world's fastest-growing economies and is Africa's second most populous country. Prior episodes of mass killings by the Ethiopian government include the 2005 Ethiopian police massacres when hundreds of protesters were killed by police and the November and December 2015 protests in the Oromia region that resulted in the killings of over 100 people by government forces. The 2015 protests were later followed by a police crackdown and the arrests of hundreds of opposition members. Protests, Oromia State. According to diplomatic, NGO, and opposition sources, protests in the vast Oromia state resulted in the deaths of at least 48 people on 5 and 6 August. Addis Ababa. On 6 August, hundreds of protesters marched on Meskel Square and shouted, "We want our freedom," and "Free our political prisoners." Dozens of protesters were arrested at the protest by Addis Ababa's police. Amhara region. More than 500 people were killed in the Amhara region, with at least 27 people dying in one day in the state capital, Bahir Dar. Prison. A suspected attempted jailbreak resulted in a fire near Addis Ababa. 2 prisoners were claimed to have been killed trying to escape, while 21 other inmates were said to have perished from stampede and suffocation. At least 23 people were killed in total. Reactions. Domestic: the Ethiopian government blocked internet access across several regions of the country and blamed foreign enemies for the protests. Prime Minister Haile Mariam Desalegn stated, "The government is aware that the ideas and slogans reflected in the demonstrations do not represent the people of Oromo Uganda." The Oromo Federalist Congress, an opposition party that is a member of the Forum for Democratic Dialogue, reported that 400 people had been killed in the protests. International: the United States Embassy in Addis Ababa released a statement of concern.